Hey guys, I'm back with another reaction here. Today I got Internet Historian with another video from his Incognito mode channel. I haven't seen this. I've been holding off on seeing it because I really wanted to watch it with you guys. So I wanted to react to it here. If you like what you see, always be sure to subscribe down below. Be sure to give me a like and a comment. If you comment, let me know what you want to see. I'll get right to it as soon as I can. And let's get into it.
Space. Space. What is space? Why do I have to wear a spacesuit? That is so formal. Too cold? Not a problem. I'll just put on a jacket. Why does everyone say you can't go faster than the speed of light? It's super simple. You just go the speed of light, and then you push on the accelerator a little more.
Yep.
Oh no,
more juice.
Not the sun. The water will put it out. Hey Alexa, play Who Let the Dogs Out.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't
Alexa,
do that.
play the thing. No. Alexa, play Who Let the Dog... Ah-ha-ha. Now I will be able to get all the best nudes. Hey, you should have closed your curtains. Ooh, I wonder what's in there. Oh, hey, how you doing, little fella? Oh, I think he's just sleeping. Aha! I knew it was fake the whole time. All this and more on this episode of In the...
Space.
Space. What do you know about space?
Not a lot.
Okay, let's start at the very beginning.
Oh.
Not the beginning of the universe.
Oh.
The beginning of how people thought space was.
Oh, yeah, so the history of space. Okay, yeah.
So we've got flat Earth, right? Now there's going to be a whole bunch of people in the
don't
comments
get into
that go,
this.
oh, actually, they've known that the Earth was round since the Greeks. We know, everybody knows. No one thinks you're smart, shut up. But there were plenty of societies that did think that the world was flat. Yeah, I saw this in a lecture once, or I overheard it on the bus, or something. But this is how it goes. You've got like this circular flat Earth, right? And then you've got land in the middle. They call this area the Mediterranean, because that's the middle land, right? It's right in the center. And then past the land, you've got water. Now, all that water is mostly fine, but if you go a little further out, there's a lot more water, like a shitload more water. These disc maps you see are not to scale. It goes way further out. But if you try to traverse them, what will happen is sea monsters, right? They'll destroy your ship. Easy. And you can tell that sea monsters are real because once in a while you get some weird thing that washes up to shore.
Yeah, sea monsters are definitely real. There's some big squids out there. There's some nightmarish creatures. In the deep ocean, you do not want to see what's down there. You don't want to encounter it. They will do some terrible things.
You can tell that sea monsters are real because once in a while you get some weird thing that washes up to shore. If somehow you make it past the sea monsters, you encounter mud.
Just mud?
It's flat mud, and it mixes with the land, so you can no longer pass by it in a boat. So you can try to walk across it, but it's basically like quicksand, you know, you just straight into it. But somehow, if you manage to traverse this plain of mud, which is even larger than the ocean itself, it would start to get colder and colder. And eventually that mud becomes frozen, and then it turns to ice, and then it's just cold nothingness for far, far longer than all the oceans. And then eventually you come to a big mountain range. And this mountain range goes right round the Earth. And it is the thing that at the very top holds up the filament, which is the thing that encompasses the stars.
So the mountains go up and then it like holds the star canopy above the Earth.
It holds up the heavens.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Half of the model is there to dissuade people from trying to find new things, right? Because if you go out on a boat in the ocean, you die. It's the perfect dissuasion. Hey, look, don't bother trying to discover Australia. If you go out there, you're going to get eaten, then you're going to sink in the mud, then you're going to freeze to death, and then there's also nothing out there. And that's what keeps everyone safe and alive.
So it's all about people control. Back then, in those days, it seemed like most of everything was people control. A lot of the, religious beliefs that popped up and a lot of the treatment against certain demographics. It was not a good time to live.
You tell the same story to your kid in the village to not go out into the woods.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same thing.
And that, circling around, is why they tell us not to go to Mars, you see. Don't come back.
I do think we'll colonize Mars. Probably not quite in our lifetime.
Do you reckon?
That's
I think we'll land a person there on Mars in 20 years.
20 years. You're a dreamer
20
into that story.
years. That's...
A lot of the original impetus for the space race to the moon was
It'll take
out
them
of
like
competition
9
with the
months
Soviet
to get
Union,
there, right?
Then we beat them, and everyone went, nah, can't be bothered. Now we're back at war with China, so I reckon space race back on. Otherwise, China's going to stick a big flag in it.
Space race,
Actually,
part
you know what,
2.
Mars? It's always belonged to China.
Their flag would look better on Mars, just saying.
It'd blend in too much.
It already looks like a flag for Mars. It's got stars on it, and it's red. It's perfect.
That's hard to argue with.
I say give it to them. And let's be real, a lot of people are probably going to die colonizing Mars, at first. They've got the manpower for it. Everyone will just be fighting over the bit where everyone's landing. It's not like someone will be like, well, I'm going to go over to this part of Mars, and, that'll be my part. Yeah, I think I'm going to stay here where the Twinkies and the women arrive.
Think you'd want to sit up at the poles? Because that's where all the ice is, right? Resources. But also, because of the rotation of the planet and the angle you come in, it's actually more difficult to land there as well.
I see.
So you would have to actually essentially approach by land. Easier to defend. So you're there on the ice, you've got all your water, and then you're just picking off anyone who dares to approach one of those Mars rovers. The Curiosity rovers, I would presume.
That would be super fun. So you're saying if you're going to fight for Mars, you'd stay at the top, 'cause this is mine. I like that. Yeah, solid.
Build a big igloo, big ice wall, tell everyone to get the fuck out. It'd be awesome.
I love that, yeah.
Here's the problem. It's 1960s, NASA, and they can't figure out how to get things into space. It's too far up, you see. How do we get past the filament into the stars? Ordinary things, you're our best scientist. You gotta come up with something that'll get us there. What do you got? Ordinary rocket propulsion, perhaps? Mentos and Coke. What's the big new idea?
So this is what I've got so far.
Right? A man kneeling on the ground, praying to get to space. I like it. That's a great idea, Ordinary Things. Let me get you the funding right now.
No, not quite. This is a dog. See, my plan is,
A trebuchet.
sort of a trebuchet, yeah.
Let me show you my idea. You've heard of CERN, right?
Yeah, they got the big underground thing.
Yes. So CERN is basically a 25-kilometer ring underground, powered by gigantic magnets that send particles in one direction, getting them faster and faster and faster, and then they send particles in the other direction, and then eventually they let them collide.
Cool.
Now, what if you had an extra track
Yes.
that went like this? You got something up to 99% the speed of light, and then you just hit the switch, and then capsule goes whoosh, terminal velocity.
Love
But
that.
how
So
do you
you're
control
thinking
it?
you build up as much momentum as
That'd be-
possible on Earth.
That'd be incredibly difficult to control. There'd be so much momentum behind that. The speed of light is ridiculous. Nobody would be able to, and you'd probably kill the person inside, because if there was a person inside, because the speed of light would the force behind that would definitely kill somebody. So that it wouldn't work out like you planned if you wanted a living creature inside of it. But if you wanted to reach Mars, sure. I mean, that might give it a little boost.
Using magnets rather than rockets.
Yep.
Is it the size of atoms in this instance? Or
We're going to have to build a bigger one.
All right, bigger CERN. Got it. All right, massive CERN.
Well, you just make the hole in the middle bigger.
Oh, yeah, all right. Yeah,
Atom-sized
fine.
hole,
That'll
too
do.
small. The only problem I can see is that we're sending people through the Earth's atmosphere at almost the speed of light. They will immediately explode. I think the solution is to put a dog in it.
Yeah.
Do you know how funny it would be if it was like a Tuesday and the supervisor was out of the office for the day, and then he kind of came back, I just forgot some of my papers, and he comes in, and the guys at CERN are all gathered around because they're firing grape through CERN at a big cartoonish brick wall. Yeah, go Dave, yeah.
I would love to be at the CERN Christmas party where someone's just like, yeah, man, I'm gonna do a shit in the CERN. Because that's what it's called, the CERN.
This CERN.
I would find it very difficult not to get in the CERN machine, I think, if I was there.
You got on
You
that
would die.
blimp. Do you
You
reckon
would
you
die.
can get into CERN?
I reckon I could give it a go.
All right, if there's anyone from CERN watching here,
Yeah.
my boy needs a ticket and one for his lady.
I'll email them now. People are thinking about space travel all wrong. They're rubes, those guys at NASA, I tell you,
Rubes?
rubes. They keep
Rubes, what is this, 1920?
trying to send us to space when we
Yeah.
should be sending space to us.
That's not a bad idea at all. Now, space elevator, very difficult. You build the thing 1,000 kilometers up, and then the tip of it is actually rotating faster than the base of it by differences in like hundreds of kilometers an hour. Tensile strength, whole thing wants to break apart, right? Now, if somehow you could make a big anchor, wait, how do you draw an anchor? Here, it wouldn't need to be one rope, because one rope is not going to stay strong.
2 ropes.
Here's 20 meters of rope, and then a big joint. Here's 20 meters of rope and a big joint. And you just do that all the way back to Earth.
Love it.
Okay, you'll need like 150,000 kilometers worth of rope. But once you're there, all of a sudden you can just pull things across it, right? What am I missing?
There is one thing.
Yes.
I think the moon moves. So what you're going to end up doing is sort of
Yeah,
like wrapping
rotates.
the Earth round. That's the one problem.
Very,
Otherwise,
very, I
it's
think it
flawless.
rotates, doesn't it?
I've got a
Very,
solution.
very slowly.
All right.
There's a rail across Earth,
Rail! Oh my god, that's a great idea. That's way better than what I was going to say.
right? And then you've got your hook in here. It's allowed to slide through the rail.
So in theory, we could like lasso the moon in,
Yes.
bring it to us. Is there any minerals on the moon worth having? Any resources?
I mean, the
There
tides.
is a fair amount of helium and also helium-3.
Well, we are running out of helium, so that is convenient.
That
There's
is
a
true.
pretty
We
good
are
amount
running
of
out of
water
helium.
all over the moon too, so that's why, soon there'll be a moon base, and they'll be able to collect most of the minerals that they need.
Soon.
So pulling the moon to the Earth would not be a good idea. That'd cause tidal waves all over the world. That would be terrible idea.
There'll be a moon base. They've been promising moon base for years. They've been promising moon base for longer than James Cameron's been promising Avatar, and honestly, sick of
Moonbase, isn't that a crypto coin? Like a scam crypto coin?
this shit.
Well, you know what I'm not sick of? Ad time. How's this for a scenario?
Hey, ad
You're with
time.
your honey, and you both have regular size heads, but you have to share a headphone.
Well,
You
I...
lose. The correct answer was to get Raycons. Look, she's with someone new, and she's loving the up to 54 hours of battle life, and she can't stop putting them in her ears.
Did he say
The silky
battle
rubber
life?
finish is rigged for her pleasure. All right, pub quiz hotshot. It's Black Friday, and it's time to stomp some heads. You gotta win her back by getting her some kind of present. But you don't want to spend too much money, because she might have moved on. What do you do?
Well, I...
Get the Raycons. They're half the price of other premium brands, but still sound pretty good. Go to buyraycon.com/incognito to get them. Look, this guy loves them. All right, one father scenario. You're walking down the street, and you see a homeless man, and he asks you for a donation. You've only got one thing on you that's of any value. What do you do?
Take advantage of the noise reduction?
That's right. You have earned
That's-
the good ending.
That's so messed
Where
up.
you can enjoy the premium sound of Raycons forever. We've got a computer here too, where you can go to buyraycon.com/incognito to get 20% off site-wide. Whoa, 30% off holiday bundles. Whoa, this really is heaven. And free shipping to the United States. Head over.
Say you had a box and you put it on like a little satellite that you were going to send to an alien
Yeah.
planet. Like, what items would you put in there to represent like human civilization?
Good question. How big's the box?
Let's say it's the size of like a caravan.
Oh, big. Okay, definitely a person then.
Okay, just like a
Like-
dude, like a dead guy, or just
Yeah, they can be dead. That's fine.
That's not a bad idea. Like a dead guy who's like kept from oxygen so he doesn't rot. So
Yeah.
they've got like a
It-
fully
it's really
preserved.
not
Just
a
keep
bad
him in a
idea.
cardboard box. So-
Just dump it.
Yes, so
We don't have the budget for something bigger.
I like the idea that when they just open up the flaps of the cardboard box, they ooh.
Oh my god.
I suppose you'd have a man and a woman.
yeah.
A phone.
A phone, like an iPhone.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to give them the latest one because they don't know.
An iPhone 5 with a cracked screen.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not like they're going to start using it.
Exactly, yeah, fuck it.
I'd probably get rid of just some trash. There's quite a lot of trash around.
And some batteries.
Yeah, because you can't dispose of batteries anywhere.
Yeah.
Bottle of Coke, full bottle. I kind of like the idea that you're... Okay, so when you're a pirate, right?
Uh-huh, yeah, I'm familiar.
And you're burying treasure. Someone finds it 500 years later and they go, wow, this is not just a historical find. I'm gonna be rich.
Love that.
I like the idea that they find a couple of human corpses, but also half a dozen bottles of Coca-Cola. There's gonna be some rich one who's like, bruh, yeah, I'll pay you 50 billion alien pesos for half a bottle or something.
I think that's the first
Alien
actually like really good
pesos? What's
suggestion for the alien
pesos?
box. I mean, fuck Coca-Cola, but it's also a very popular
sure.
drink and like a good representation of Western
yeah.
society. It's everywhere in the world. Great, and also they might be pleased. They're like, oh, this is a treat, or maybe it'll kill them. But great suggestion.
Ah, thank you. Maybe also
Music, I reckon.
music.
Mozart on a vinyl. Yeah.
Another good one, a handgun.
Yeah, just to show them that we mean business would be good.
Yeah, well, we'll rig it up to a tripwire. Don't touch my stuff.
So very similar to War of the Worlds. I think if aliens did come here, they would succumb to our diseases because we have a lot of diseases out there on this planet.
Wire. Don't touch my stuff. All right, you're stuck in space. You're floating around.
Sweet.
Oh my god.
Loving it.
You're in a spacesuit. I come floating up to you. I go, ordinary things. Help. Help. My oxygen tank has been pierced. I'm gonna die.
Ooh. Oh, that sucks for you.
No, that's not what you say. Now, we've got just enough time. Quick, we can both survive, but we're gonna both have to get into the same spacesuit.
Oh, I've been tricked like this before.
So we have to both squeeze in there. The question is, are you taking the front or the back?
I'll take the front, I think. I'd rather be in the driver's seat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I trust you.
I swear, that's just my wallet, I swear.
It's not gay if it's on the moon.
Yeah, like legitimately. Like you come back to Earth and they'll go, no, it wasn't. It's the moon. It doesn't count at all.
Doesn't count. No.
Is that
Neil
how it
Armstrong
works?
and Buzz Aldrin, they could have done it on the moon.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been considered gay. And then I suppose like,
we were lovers on the moon. You know, it's different.
someone shut this man up. Right, someone comes to you and says, ordinary things. You may see the universe, but we can't travel faster than the speed of light, so you have to go into the cryopod.
Ah, the old time delay.
Yes, you can go to Alpha Centauri, but it will take 100 years and everyone you know will be dead. Do you do it?
I don't want to just be like launched into the equivalent of Mars in Alpha Centauri and just be like, well, I'm here and I'm dead. I'm fucked.
No, they don't just drop
Like-
you off. You get to go on like a nice big ship. Maybe there's a nice lady there who's also frozen.
A nice little lady, a nice A-list celeb lady who is inexplicably an astronaut, as in all those movies.
Yeah, and you wake her up
Yeah.
early, and because you woke up early, and uh-oh.
Welcome. Oh, whoopsie, but you don't have another choice, so you have to be my friend.
Would you do it? Would you want to be one of the crew that goes to Alpha Centauri?
I think I would. I think it's worth it to go do something that literally no one else has done before. I'm down.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Yeah.
If you were one of the first people to
I don't know.
Alpha
I don't
Centauri,
know if I would.
you'd just have thousands of things named after you forever.
The whole planet. You get the planet.
Yeah.
If you're the first one there, it's like, this is me land, baby.
Yeah.
No governments. Money is banned. And I haven't thought this through.
You know, if you look at a place like Earth,
You know what? I actually have no plans for society. I don't know how to start this at all.
every creek, every little nook or rock has a name to it. They did that like when people first came to Australia, and I can't help but notice that everything here is named either Murray or after Batman or
After Batman. Wait.
yeah, you don't know about everything being called Batman here?
No, that's new to me. That's
Oh, there's
news.
this guy. His name's like John Batman. And so there's like a Batman River and like a Batman Street
You're kidding.
in middle of Melbourne. No,
I know there's a Batman in one of the stands. I can't remember which one it is, but I know there's a Batman.
No
no.
way. John
Yeah.
Batman. Oh my god, I'm looking him up now. What?
Look, in the past, how long did it take for people to get from England to Australia? What was it like?
Oh, like a month.
Yeah, a couple of months.
Yeah.
It's like Okay, how long does it take to get to Mars? At optimal speed, I think 9 months.
Perseverance rover took 7 months to get to Mars. NASA estimates humans would take 9 months to arrive. 9 months! See? That's what I thought it was. I thought it'd take 9 months. I thought I heard that somewhere.
Months?
So what you're saying is that we should put all our criminals on Mars.
Hey, it worked once.
Did it, though?
How come Australia doesn't get a bit of a pass with a lot of its history?
That's a fair point.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, the terrible things that were done to the Aboriginals. But it's like, okay, but have you seen the average criminal reoffending rates? What did you expect?
Yeah, it's not like we sent them our best.
Well, that's not really fair. The average rate being that high is more of a failure of the prison system than anything. We don't rehabilitate people. We just hold them in a cell and then release them later. That's all we do. We don't even try to rehabilitate anybody. It's a messed up situation.
I've never thought about it like that, but that's honestly like a really decent argument for giving Australia a pass. But like,
Yeah, although it means they did all this stuff while they were out on probation. Now, everybody goes, oh, what the heck? Why'd you demote Pluto from planet to dwarf planet?
yes.
And I can't help but agree.
Yeah.
So basically, they had an idea in mind to make Pluto not a planet, and then they changed all the rules to make it fit their space-based agenda.
Celestial identity politics have gone too far. That's all I say.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
There's
Pluto
3
great
rules for a
again.
planet. Number 1, it must orbit a star. Okay, very good. We're all on board for that, and that's one of the old rules.
That's fine. I can accept that. Asteroids, not planets. Cool.
Number 2, it must be big enough to have enough gravity to force it into a spherical shape. Agreed. That's a brilliant one.
Fine, I'll accept that. But if we see a cube planet at some point, then I feel like we will need to revisit this rule. But as it stands, fine.
Yeah, if there was something as big as Earth, but somehow cube, they'd change the rules again.
Cube Earth.
Yeah. Now, the new rule they brought in was it must be big enough that its gravity clears away any other objects of similar size in its orbit.
Bullshit.
That is a very specific rule, just designed to persecute Pluto.
Who came up with this rule?
Well, it was a big committee made up of the deep
Big
space
pharma.
state. And one of the reasons that they essentially made this rule was because, well, Pluto actually has a moon that's almost the same size as Pluto. So Pluto wouldn't even just be one planet, it would be like several planets. But also, out in the Oort cloud, there are probably similar sized planets to Pluto, but hundreds, maybe thousands of them.
I see.
And so actually, even in our own given solar system, there would be thousands of them. So what they're running into is a naming problem. Because, well, we can't teach kids that there are thousands of planets. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
turns out there are
of course you
thousands
can.
of
Why
planets,
can't
and
you?
a lot of them are really boring and far away. Okay, but here's the main 9.
Yeah, here's the big 9. Why don't you just call them the big planets and the small planets and be done with it?
There's also a couple of objects in the Kuiper Belt, I think, that would suddenly qualify as planets. So Ceres would suddenly become a planet.
Ceres? What even is Ceres? Oh, Ceres. Oh, okay. But that's clearly a moon. It looks like a moon.
Well, it's not what it
Pluto's
looks
moon,
like,
right?
it's how it acts, isn't it?
Oh,
It's in the orbit between Mars and Jupiter.
why don't we
Oh,
just make Ceres a planet
Yes,
instead?
absolutely.
Charon
To be honest, I'm just going to show my ignorance today, but I've never heard of Ceres before. In a way, I feel like you've just made this up to make me look strange. Wait, what's make?
Maki.
Maki. That's that type of sushi.
Oh,
does sound like
It's
sushi.
another planet that's just further out.
Oh, I love it. It's cute.
I mean, it's a dwarf planet, but
Why does one of them have boobies?
this one.
There's no need for that. Come on.
Eris? Oh, it's a dwarf planet as well.
I'm learning new things here.
Well, no more learning. It's time for some answers, damn it. Big question time. Ordinary things.
Yeah.
Are there any aliens?
No.
All right. Is the universe infinite?
It's like a bike wheel. Technically, it's infinite, but you just end up where you were in the first place.
That's good enough for me. Is there a god?
Yes, and it's me. Suck my...
There we go. Will we ever find out all of the mysteries of the universe?
What if we already have?
I'll tell you what it is. The real answer
Yeah.
is love. And that's all you need.
Space or love, which is bigger? And if you could only have one, what would you have?
Oh, what about space love?
Is that like 0G shagging?
Yeah, or where you're on the moon and someone says like, "Oh, I love you." It's like kind of non-committal, and they don't really hear you on the radio, and you go, "What?" And they go, "Oh, nothing, over."
What if you're on the moon and then they go into kiss and then they accidentally shatter their space helmets?
No. Like two people vigorously doing cheers.
Yeah. Moon love turns to moon tragedy.
You know, it must happen all the time. On the moon, in the future, we'll all have Raycons.
All right. Okay, so that was the latest video from Internet Historian. I thought it was pretty funny, and there's some informative stuff in there. But anyway, if you like what you saw, please be sure to give a like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.